Have you ever thought about making a game? I mean, come on, there must have been a time you were staring at your Steam library not knowing what to play, and then you just thought to yourself, I know what would be a good game, but I don't know how to make it. Well, I'm here to tell you it is not as hard as you think, and if you watch this video, you might be able to start making a game of your own. Anyway, let's run it back. I started making a game around 5 months ago. I was getting a bit bored with work, and I have studied computer science for years, and I wanted to get better at programming so it would be easier to move into it as a career. I started a lot of different projects. But with most, I just ended up getting bored and ended up moving on to the next thing, and I would never end up getting too deep in a project, so I would not really end up learning that much. Making a game had always been an idea, but I thought it was a waste of time and would not be that useful. Anyway, one of my friends wanted to learn to make games, and I had a rough idea of how to do it and got him started off. I then got a little interested, so I downloaded Godot. Then naturally I fell into tutorial hell. After going through tutorial after tutorial, I finally paused and thought, wait, what game do I want to make? I wanted it to be a 2D RPG style game. I did not want to make anything too difficult. After all, it is my first time. So I started searching for more specific tutorials and found one by coding with Rust. I will link it in the bio. So I followed the whole tutorial. Can't lie, it did take some time as I had not really used Godot and there was a bit of a learning curve, but after around a week I had completed the tutorial. Once I had the tutorial made, I began modding it and tweaking the game. From my early prototypes you can clearly see the base tutorial, but as time went on you can see it has changed. Also, to begin with, I used filler art, which I will link below. Basically, for all of my art to begin with, including the player, buildings, tiles, NPCs, enemies and decorations, it was all free to use art as this sped up building the game massively. I would highly recommend this. Once I had modded the game a bit and made it slightly my own, I realized I needed to make a plan for the game. I literally just wrote a rough story and a mind map of all the features I wanted to add. From there I made something called a Kanban board. I use a website called Trello which is free to use, and it is essentially a to-do list. You have little cards which you move from a to-do list to a doing list then to a done list. This makes it super simple to track implementing features. I started off with mains such as the inventory, trading, and NPCs. Once I had the core features worked out, I would come back to them and make improvements and build on them. When adding features, it can be daunting, like I hated making the inventory as it seemed really complicated. But I just found more tutorials and did research to help me. I think it's important that you do not just copy people's features, take the concept, you can even copy some of the code, but then work it into your game and make it your own. Doing this makes you learn a lot, and I find you get to a point that you can just think of something you want to add and you don't even need to do the research as you begin to understand how all the code fits together. Once I had the majority of features I wanted, I started making the art as I knew this would be a big task and I did not want to leave it until the end. I installed LibreSprite and firstly just redesigned all the textures I was currently using. I will admit for now some are just recolored like the grass and paths, but I will be changing them, don't worry. Once I had finished redesigning the current assets, I started making my own, and I will be honest, making assets is a constant battle. Every time I code something I just think, damn, I need to draw that. However, it is a nice break from the stress of coding. Another thing you will need in your game is sound. I have still not decided on if I will create my own music, as that's another mountain I don't want to think about yet. For now I just used open source music and sounds, as again it's better to use placeholders until you know what you want. I have been developing this game for around 5 months and I have learned a lot. It is an enjoyable experience as I just think, right, what would be cool to add. Then I add it. You end up learning a lot of different things like animation, designing assets, coding, and planning, to name a few. And also you can share what you are creating, like I am uploading videos to YouTube, as I want people to see what I have made and I want to know what I can make better. So if you're getting bored and want something to do, why not think of a game, find some tutorials, then turn it into what you want. You do not need to use any of the things I have used. There is other game engines like Unity, Unreal Engine, or Pico 8, and for your game using other tools might work better. Let me know in the comments, if you were to make a game, what would it be? And if you want to see some of the assets I have created, check out the assets creation playlist. If you want to see some of the features, check out the early game playlist. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, and I will catch you next time.